It is finally here. Over 2 years we've been waiting, and it is here at last. The sequel to the innovative gameplay-inspired set JumpStart is on shelves now. Thank goodness Wizards of the Coast didn't release any superfluous JumpStart branded product in between the first iconic set and this new 2022 sequel. It would have been a shame if for no good reason at all, none, Wizards of the Coast released a deluge of watered-down, redundant, sad versions of this beloved product in between then and now, achieving absolutely nothing in the process but an erosion of player confidence and joy. Glad that didn't happen. And now, the one and only sequel to the original JumpStart is finally here. Just like the first release, this product is packed with brand new cards legal only in Eternal formats, including the format we'll be focusing on in this video, Commander. Today, we're diving into the top 5 brand new cards from JumpStart 2022 worth putting into the 99 of your favorite Commander decks. So let's jump right in and start, shall we? Hey, but first, what if playing video games could teach you how to code? No, seriously, imagine a fun video game that, as you played it, instead of memorizing the names and types of 5,000 new Pokemon, you walked away knowing Python. No, wait, I think Python is a Pokemon. No, it's code. Well, either way, imagine walking away learning JavaScript or Go. I better sign up for boot.dev because that's exactly what it is, and sponsor of today's video. I actually sat down to give the trial a whirl and ended up getting halfway through the first course of learning Python, which is not a snake, but an actual programming language. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary for a programmer in the United States in 2022 was over $100,000 a year? Learning this career-defining skill can change your life for the good. Over $100,000 a year? Is that in US currency? Why the hell did I major in English? Well, unlike my English degree, boot.dev will constantly be putting you in active learning scenarios and problem-solving situations that'll help you learn how to code while having the experience of playing a video game. Except it costs a lot less than most video games, and certainly less than my master's in English cost me. Oh God. Boot.dev is even more affordable when you use my special code Tolarian at checkout for 25% off your monthly subscription. So change your life and start a career in computer science with boot.dev and use my code Tolarian at checkout for 25% off your monthly subscription. Thanks Lane and Alan of boot.dev for sponsoring this video. I want to start with an honorable mention before we get to the best new cards for use in the 99 of your Commander decks. And that honorable mention is actually many honorable mentions because it's the many stellar reprints available in the set. In fact, there are so many awesome new reprints for Commander available in JumpStart 2022, I decided to limit myself to one from each color, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. So let's say honorable reprint mentions to Lyra Dawnbringer, Rhystic Study, Tree of Perdition, Goldspan Dragon, Primordial Hydra, favorite of mine from days of old, and oh my god, right from Modern Masters, it's Karn Liberated. These are some solid picks for the rare slot all around. Reprints like these provide great fuel for all varieties of decks, in addition to providing genuinely exciting pack opening moments. Kudos where kudos is due, but let's keep up this reprint momentum moving forward and continue to stabilize the higher prices of more beloved Commander staples like these. Stabilize the staples, reprint more often outside of Masters sets. Stabilize the staples, reprint more often outside of Masters sets. Do you think that worked? All right, coming in at number 5 on our true list. It's not Primeval Titan, no, it's Primeval Herald. Primeval Herald is a brand new 3/1 elf scout that costs 3 generic and 1 green mana. Her ability states, whenever Primeval Herald enters the battlefield or attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. You might recognize a line that reads just like this on one of Commander's evergreen includes, Solemn Simulacrum, otherwise known as the sad robot. Just like our sad robot friend, thanks to this ETB ability, Primeval Herald fits wonderfully alongside blink cards like Ephemerate and Ghostly Flicker. But that doesn't mean green players of decks like Elf Ball or Landfall need not rejoice as well. This card is very versatile and is going to go anywhere green has a home. And I can see it slotting in nicely from commanders like Emil the Blessed, all the way up to Rune of the Hidden Realms and Yarok the Desecrated. But we don't only get lands from our deck by entering the battlefield, we also have the same trigger when we attack with Primeval Herald, making it a surefire cohort for combat-focused commanders as well, like Wolfgar of Icewind Dale or a Raised by Giants Karlach Fury of Avernus. Speaking of its effectiveness in combat, did I mention it also has trample? Yeah, why not? Just throw trample on it. Stick a trample on it. It's green, it tramples. Radical. Or should I say trampical? No, I won't. I'm not going to go on and on too much more about Primeval Herald, but remember, in addition to multicolor, it's going to slide just as effectively into your favorite elf creature deck or even your favorite landfall deck. Truly a Scute Swarm's best friend. Yeah, get away. Coming in at number 4, we're conjuring up some dignity with a Distinguished Conjurer. Now, blinking is one of the many myriad themes of JumpStart 2022, and luckily, blinking is also a tried and true archetype of commander as well. Enter Distinguished Conjurer, a 1/2 human wizard for 1 generic and 1 white mana. Distinguished Conjurer has 2 abilities that truly make the 2 mana spent to cast it a worthwhile endeavor in the long run. The first ability says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. The second activated ability requires 4 generic and 1 white mana to activate. Then tap your Conjurer to exile another target creature that you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Players of potent life gain decks will tell you that it is hard to have too much of Distinguished Conjurer's first ability. With it, she fits right in at home alongside Soul Warden, Essence Warden, Prosperous Innkeeper, and just to spice things up, cards like Suture Priest, all of which are usually housed in decks that revel in life gain triggers. But Distinguished Conjurer is also going to synergize well with a lot of commanders by increasing the reliability of everything from Heliod, Sun-Crowned, to Lathiel, Bounteous Dawn, and even Celestine, the Living Saint. Furthermore, with Distinguished Conjurer's second activated ability, we can re-trigger the potent Enter the Battlefield abilities found across the creatures in our deck. So that means that commanders like Aminatu, the Fate Shifter, and Loran of the Third Path, and even Yorian's Sky Nomad want all the help they can get controlling the battlefield by blinking their Angel of the Runes and Archon of Cruelties. And in that regard, Distinguished Conjurer rises to the occasion, distinguishing itself quite well. Distinguished Conjurer impressively plays multiple roles across multiple archetypes, and that's why it's earned the number 4 spot on our list. But let us head to the more sinister side of life gain with our next pick. You know, I always say the only thing better than a little life gain is a little life drain. Markov and Voldaren enthusiasts rejoice. Our number 3 pick was made to quench your thirst for exquisite blood. Coming in at number 3 is Creeping Bloodsucker, a new low-to-the-ground card packing multiple levels of synergy, all while leaping straight into battle. Creeping Bloodsucker is the new vampire creature that costs 1 generic and 1 black mana. Its ability says, at the beginning of your upkeep, Creeping Bloodsucker deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. Ha ha ha! Classic mono-black life drain. Now, persistent effects like those that trigger at the beginning of your upkeep cannot be undervalued in multiplayer. The de facto scenario in a game of Commander includes 3 opponents, which means at the beginning of your turn, Creeping Bloodsucker will deal 3 damage total and you gain 3 life total. Persistent effects are strong because this adds up over the course of a game. And what's often the case is that players don't really want to use their valuable removal on a lowly common creature. And therefore, if Creeping Bloodsucker comes out on turn 1 or 2, if left unchecked, I estimate it could gain you upwards of 9 life and deal 9 damage to your opponent's total, or even more. Not a bad deal for 2 mana if you ask me. They're gonna ignore this as only losing, 1 life, but as it sits around, that number goes up high. And imagine if this card literally just said, spend 2, you gain 9 life, each opponent loses 3. It might as well say that. But let's not neglect the vampire creature type on this card as well, which helps it remain relevant for this format in the long haul. Creeping bloodsucker and fellow vampire defiant bloodlord go hand in hand under the commands of Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose, the lovely Rudolph, Duskbringer, and of course Vona, Butcher of Magan. But that's not to say non-vampire commanders like Karlov of the Ghost Council, Willow Dusk, Essence Seer, and Rakdos, Lord of Riots won't appreciate this gruesome new company as well. I think this is going to be a highly overlooked card because of its common nature, but it's exactly the sort of thing you should be considering for your decks. But with so many choices, what are the top 2 cards for the 99 in your commander deck from JumpStart 2022? Well, coming in at number 2, it's Brazen Cannonade. You know, token generators, aristocrats, and impulsive drawers alike are in luck with this new number 2 pick. Brazen Cannonade is a new red enchantment for 3 generic and 1 red mana, and its abilities state, whenever an attacking creature you control dies, Brazen Cannonade deals 2 damage to each opponent. But it also has Raid, which means at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, if you attacked with a creature this turn, exile the top card of your library. Until end of combat on your next turn, you may play that card. The similarities between the abilities here and the abilities tied to the often relied upon Outpost Siege must be acknowledged. Both cards can devastate opponents with a properly established board. And just FYI, we're talking about Outpost Siege having chosen dragons, if that was not evident. But while Brazen Cannonade requires your creatures to be attacking in order to deal damage upon their death, that 1 extra damage combined with the fact that it hits each opponent certainly makes it a worthy consideration to run alongside and possibly even as a replacement to Outpost Siege. Yes, I said it. Ginny Fey and Krenko Tin Street Kingpin players often find themselves with tremendously threatening boards, yet lacking the necessary evasion to send those boards through their opponent's blockers for an efficient attack. Brazen Cannonade solves that problem in a roundabout yet effective way. What was once a simple and wise chump block for our opponents suddenly becomes a complex calculation of whether or not the 2 damage that they'll take from each dying token is worth it. Talk about math really being for blockers. Coming out on top of any combat exchange is increasingly likely when your opponents are darned if they do and darned if they don't. Aristocrat decks too can benefit greatly from this effect, as it mirrors Zulaport Cutthroat's ability to melt your opponents all at once when you sacrifice your board of creatures. Just remember to declare them as attackers, then to respond to your attack by sacrificing the poor fools. Commanders like Garna, Bloodfist of Keld, Jury, Master of the Review, and of course Zira, the Golden Sting, will all relish this new tool as they all benefit greatly from the destruction. The cherry on top of Brazen Cannonade is its second ability, Raid, which parallels the con's choice of Outpost Siege. With this light card advantage to boot, red decks who appreciate cards in exile like Layla, the Blade Reforged, and Prosper, Tombbound, will be looking at this new candidate as well. All right, for our final pick on this list, we're headed out to the coast. You know, piracy is rampant on these high seas, so we're snatching up a mythic rare as our number 1 card from JumpStart 2022. You guessed it, our number 1 choice for commander cards featured in JumpStart 2022 is Pirated Copy. Pirated Copy is a 0/0 shapeshifter pirate creature that costs 4 generic and 1 blue mana. Fear not its 0/0 stat line, for there's plenty more of this sea shanty to tell. Me mateys, you may have Pirated Copy enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it be a pirate in addition to its other types. And it has whenever this creature or another creature with the same name deals combat damage to a player, ye be drawing a card, matey. Oh, I just got it. It's a pirate that makes a copy. You know, it's a pirated copy. Don't we all love when a card name is a pun? And we all love pirated copies or proxies in Magic the Gathering. Thanks for subtly continuing to encourage them, Wizards of the Coast. I had to get that in there. You wouldn't proxy an underground sea. Oh no, wait, I would. Now, while we do have options abound for creatures with the copy creature ability, from Clever Impersonator to Glasspool Mimic, to my favorite and first Friday Night Magic win prize ever, Phyrexian Metamorph. This new version has 2 key features the others do not have. One is the inclusion of those 3 most powerful words in Magic. Draw a card. Giving you 2 sources for potential card draw alone makes this a worthwhile consideration to run alongside our Sakashima of 1,000 Faces, Riku of 2 Reflections, or other clone-themed decks. The second key feature worth noting is that Pirated Copy is indeed the pirate creature type. Any pirate card with card advantage attached to it simply must be considered for your Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator, Breach's Brazen Plunderer, or Admiral Beckett Brass decks. So if you haven't yet brewed up Pirate Tribal, then mateys, ye be needing to do so immediately. What is a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet? Well, you think it be R, but his true love is the C. And with that, we're going to be doing it for the top 5 brand new cards from JumpStart 2022 for your Commander decks. Keep your eye out for our sister video. No, we're not doing a sister video on that. I mean, maybe we could. All right, sure. And that be doing it for our top 5 brand new cards from JumpStart 2022 for your Commander decks. Be keeping your eye out for our sister video discussing the best legendaries from JumpStart for the Command Zone, and tell us what you think about the new JumpStart set overall. Are there any new cards we missed that you'd like to include in your decks? Are there any reprints in this set that you're hoping to pull in packs? Are you just going to buy this to shuffle up and play? No relation? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, whether you are buying JumpStart 2022, Brothers War, or even a new Commander Precon, when it is possible, when it is reasonable to do so, try and spend that money where you spend time playing this great game, and that's at your local game store. You're supporting your Magic the Gathering community, unlike Wizards of the Coast. Thanks again to Boot.dev for sponsoring this video. If you want to learn how to code by playing what's essentially a video game and all for less than most video games cost, and hey, maybe you'll start on a path to a career that's more profitable than a PhD in poetry or a PhD in philosophy will bring, then go to Boot.dev and let them know that the prof sent you by using my code Tolarian at checkout for 25% off your monthly subscription. Thank you, Boot.dev, for sponsoring this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
Welcome to Shuffle Up and Play. Today it's Commander with decks we love.
And I brought my mom's deck.
That we think are fair.
Did you pay you?
Oh, I'm already sick of it.
Let's see how you feel when you go up against it. Everybody please pass your deck to the right.
What?
No!
Wait,
But
what?
I like this one!
Yeah.
Gibberge. I would say that about half of these cards are in English, by the way.
You see, Voxy, you make a target of yourself.
What did I do?
You cast Luminarch Ascension and you started ascending.
1/1 soldier creature token.
I sacrifice a 0/1 to kill it.
Have you been playing with 1 more mana recently? The petty is off the charts and I love it.